If you're a new entrepreneur who struggles with the idea of forming your own authority, and you know that you have a good heart and good intentions towards the marketplace, and you have a great idea, and you've done great research, and you've actually gotten good feedback that what you have to offer is for a large number of people who'll be happy to pay you, but you just can't seem to make waves yet because no one knows who you are. And you've been looking around to find the right answers as to how you can gain the authority, but you keep hitting a ceiling. Look no further. You've come to the right video. I'm going to show you 3 simple steps that you can take in order to become an authority in your field. Now, first, I want to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that you can make if you want to have authority and you've not yet got it. But these 3 mistakes can get in your way. The first mistake, we're going to dive right in here. The first mistake you can make when it comes to building your authority is by being unreliable. When you are unreliable, this will set a image of you, an idea, a perception in the minds of others that no matter what you do or say, you can't be trusted. They won't listen to you because you have not yet demonstrated that you are a person that they know that they can count on. So the worst mistake you can make is by overwhelming yourself, taking on too much that you can in no way possibly actually come to a space that you can fulfill. If this is the case, you're going to cause people to not trust you. So don't take on anything that you honestly can't handle. Simply measure yourself. If you're not yet at the space where you can fulfill on a promise, don't do it. Mistake number 2. If you say that you're going to do something and you don't do it, I'm telling you, it is going to have people feel that you are a scam artist because they're going to have their heart set on something that you said and ultimately you don't come through. Now, this might be an unintentional thing on your behalf, like I said, as in taking on more than you can handle, or believing that you are capable of something, but since you simply didn't test it, you didn't test the assumption, you didn't prove it out, you didn't demonstrate to yourself, let alone anyone else, that you are the person for it. You simply got very confident because you showed potential. And I'm here to tell you personally, potential is not enough. This is the danger of when you're attempting to learn a new skill and you obtain the knowledge of that skill or concept and you memorize it. You get confident into believing that you know it. I'm here to tell you firsthand from my personal experience, the only true way of knowing is through doing until the point of mastery. Now, I know you've done your research and you got a really great idea for a product, and you know that it is going to serve a great deal of people, and you know that it's already been proven in the marketplace to be a viable asset to the marketplace. But you have to understand, just because you witness your peers having great success, be patient. Now, I'm not saying be complacent or procrastinate in the process of developing yourself to actually deliver a great product. What I'm saying is be patient with the process, right? If you're going to sow seeds for success, you have to be patient when it comes to reaping the harvest, right? So you don't want to get yourself in over your head where you're making a promise that you can't realistically fulfill on. That means even if you have the capital to start the development of the product and you deliver it without proper testing, it could lead to a bad reputation, right? So that's mistake number 2. Don't do something or say something that you can't fulfill on. Mistake number 3. If you are all consumed with solving your problem, that is to earn more money, to provide for your family, and you're not solely focused on solving the problem in the marketplace, you are going to shoot yourself in the foot and you are going to be seen again as a selfish scam artist. You do not want to do this, right? So I gave you the 3 big mistakes. Now let's get to the juicy part. These are the 3 tips that are going to change everything. And of course, they're in direct correlation to the 3 mistakes. Okay, tip number 1. Well, before I even give you the tips, let me make something clear because I want you to understand where I'm going with this. I want you to start to pay attention to and to observe patterns, right? As you've heard before, success leaves clues. If there is someone, a mentor, a peer in your field that has have achieved great success in the area that you're looking to step into with your unique selling proposition, pay attention to what makes them great. Pay attention to what has allowed them to have success. Pay attention to what people look to them for as an authority. These are all patterns. And guess what? Patterns can be repeated. Remember, patterns are based on proven principles. And as you know, principles don't care who you are, how you look, how tall you are, short you are, skinny, fat, right? Whether you came from a wealthy background or poor background. If you do well to observe the principle, you will reap the benefits. Okay, let's get to tip number 1. First tip, establish a pattern of consistency and reliability. Remember what I said. If you have not yet proven yourself in the past, even though you've had a good heart, you actually established a reputation for not being reliable. You have to do something to fix it. Now, I know this could be challenging because it may very well take a great deal of time before you can establish a new pattern, a new reputation for reliability and dependability. But trust me, it's worth it. Do your best to establish this pattern because I'm telling you, with the new relationships that you take on, it will benefit you in the long term, in the long run, right? As we spoke about the easy hard principle, doing the hard things first lead to having it easy on the back end, right? Now, here's the good news. If you're working your job, as I always advise you, while you're going through the process of building your business and working on it part-time, you're maintaining your job, right? Because it provides for you and your family, it sustains you. And since you're living below your means, as we advise as well, you're able to use the discretionary income to invest in your product, to invest in the development of the service, right? So you literally can, out of pocket, perform your service or give develop versions of the product to a segment of the marketplace who can serve as your testimonials and your case studies to offer up the authority and show a pattern of reliability, a pattern of integrity, right? So don't fear wondering who you can help that will allow for you to establish this pattern of integrity. You can actually go out and reach out to people and offer free samples or free service. So then you can have those testimonies documented. So do not fret. Now, moving on to tip number 2. Establish a pattern of integrity, right? As we just mentioned. What does that mean? It doesn't just mean being consistent, right? Because as we know, if you haven't tested something out, if you haven't taken the feedback, you won't actually give people the fulfillment that they're looking for. And they're going to be rather disappointed. And you don't want to consistently show up not solving problems properly, right? Constantly racking up bad feedback. You want to have integrity. That means the feedback that you get when you're in the testing stage, you actually do something about it, right? And this is very important. You need to get this dialed in, because if you're consistent without taking heed to the feedback that you receive, people are going to see, as I said, that you're just a selfish person looking to fulfill your own needs, and you could care less about them in the marketplace, right? So you want to use integrity, because consistency without integrity is waste, is vain, is empty. You want to establish a pattern of integrity, because even if you get it wrong in the beginning, acknowledging that you got it wrong and humbly receiving the feedback and doing everything in your power to make it right will establish a pattern of integrity ultimately. And as I said, when you are dealing with groups of people and you are offering samples out of pocket, and you are going and getting the feedback from them after they have, experienced the samples, right? Or a sample of your service, your free service that you're offering, right? So they can get a feel of what is beneficial about what your offer has. You need to be patient with the process. The feedback is going to be the breakfast of champions. They're literally going to let you know what you can do to win them over. So do not be discouraged about how long this takes, because ultimately, when you're willing to be patient and suffer through the process of getting it right, you will be establishing a pattern of integrity, right? So this is going to be beautiful, and it's going to actually complement you setting the first pattern of consistency. Because what is that going to tell people? Consistently, this person shows up with integrity. All right. Now, the third and final step. Now, as I said, this is going to enhance the first 2 steps, and is absolutely necessary in order to show the value of them. So remember, every time I give you the third tip, it needs to be incorporated with the entire process, or you're going to lose some weight. You're going to lose some value, right? And you don't want to do that. You don't want your work to be in vain. Okay. Tip number 3, establish a pattern of empathy. Now, what do I mean by empathy? What I mean by empathy is when you get that feedback, right? Don't allow your ego to get involved, your pride. You want to remember to move from their perspective, put yourself in their shoes, right? Make sure that you can even recall what it is they told you, what the problem was with your product or your service, and you make the proper iterations based on that. In their eyes, especially if you make note of it, right? Or you give them a special shout out in the fact that they helped you to make the improvement, they're going to be like, wow, not only did he listen to what I said, he actually acted on it. He actually showed that he cared about me. and it's not just about him or his business. This will actually allow people to trust you more than anything. And this will actually seal the deal for you being seen as the ultimate authority. I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope you got a lot of usefulness out of this. And I promise you, if you observe these tips and avoid these mistakes, ultimately in time, you will be seen as the authority. Okay, guys, until next time.